Hi, my name is Chris Ryan. Welcome to the Forest of Arden. Today we're talking about alignments. I've got 3 tips that you can use out on the golf course to ensure that you align yourself better. It's one of the things I see that golfers do fall into the poor habits of aligning themselves incorrectly. Now, just because we give you some tips here on how to align yourself, that doesn't automatically mean that you're going to align yourself straight at your target. We need to understand that our alignment may differ depending on our ball flight. So if I'm a slicer of the golf ball, I may wish to allow for this and aim up the left hand side, but we're just going to give you some ideas on how you can ensure that you align yourself to your intended target. So the first thing that I would get you to do would be to start your pre-shot routine from directly behind the golf ball, so looking from your ball directly towards your target. From here, what you're going to do is you're going to pick what we call an intermediate target. That intermediate target will be something that is on your ball to target line that you can use as a reference point, and normally that would be within probably about 4 or 5 feet of your golf ball. So I'm looking in this sort of area here for a mark, a blemish, a leaf, whatever it may be that's on the ground that I want my ball to head over, or I want myself to align to. So if I do that now, there's a little sort of discoloration in the ground here that I'm using, and I would say that's probably 4 feet in front of me, but that would be my target there. So if you watch any golf on TV, you'll see many of the world's best golfers doing this. I would say 99% of the golfers that you see on TV will begin their pre-shot routine from directly behind the golf ball, probably visualizing the shot and getting themselves ready to execute, but also picking that intermediate target. So the first tip I want you to do is to try and do that. Now, for some of you may well do that. For those who don't, try and build that into your on-course routine. Tip number 2 would be to approach the golf ball and align the club face to that intermediate target, but having the body very, very open. So by open, we mean aligned more at the left-hand side. So let me just explain and demonstrate what that might look like. So once I've got my intermediate target, and I've got that there, as I walk in and I align my club face to that, notice how my body, my shoulders, my hips, my feet are aligned to the left. That's absolutely fine as long as I'm aiming the club face. What I will see all too often is golfers approach from this angle and try and get the body very shut, and we often see a lot of amateurs align themselves too far at the right hand side. That will be a very, very common trait amongst the handicap golfers. So the second point would be to align the club face to your intermediate target, but doing that with your body in this open position. Many golfers you'll see will do this with one hand. I would encourage that. That's a good thing. I don't personally do that, but many will try just with their trail hand to align the club face. Once the club face is aligned, you can then build your stance around that. Once I'm over the ball here, I'm trying to visualize a line from my ball to my intermediate target, and I'm trying to ensure that my body, that's toes, knees, hips, and shoulders, are parallel to that line. If you follow those first 2 steps, you should, fingers crossed, you should be in a position where your alignment is pretty good. However, point number 3 is all about just checking that alignment, just confirming that you're set up aiming at the target that you wish. So point number 3 is how we look at the target. I want you to make sure that one of your looks at the target is a rotation of the head this way. So I feel that my eyes, which should also be parallel to my body line, rotate up towards my target. That is going to give me a much better indication of where I'm aimed. Again, if I set up this way, what I will often see is golfers, when they look at the target, they will stand up and they will rotate their head this way. Now, because my eyes have gone to a horizontal position, that doesn't really give me a great reference point to where my body was aimed. I very much feel when I do this that I just see the target. Whereas if I rotate my head, I find my eyes track very much more up my body aim, and that's going to give me, as I said, a much better indication about where I'm actually aimed. So if you can follow those 3 points, I think you're going to be much, much better on the golf course. The last little point to note would be, if you go through those measures, those steps, and you feel like you're not aiming quite right, let's go through that process again. Let's back off and let's start from the start. Many golfers find this difficult. We always kind of just think it'll be okay, or the group behind is waiting, I'm going to get a move on. But if we go through our routine again and get our alignment spot on, we're probably going to find we hit some better golf shots, some straighter golf shots, and that's going to lower the scores ultimately. And that'll probably actually speed up time or speed up play as opposed to take too much time. So let me go ahead and hit this one down the 17th. So start from here. I'm going to pick my intermediate target. That would be point number 1. Point number 2 is to align the club face, but with my body open. Once I'm happy, I build my stance around that. and then I confirm that with a head rotation. Once I'm happy, I can go ahead and pull the trigger. Just up the left-hand side, that's absolutely perfect. Par 5, that should give me a chance to go for the green in 2. So alignment, such an important part of the game, such an important part of your game. Try those 3 tips, align yourself better, and watch those scores come tumbling down. Thank you for watching. Usual stuff is down below, comments box, like button, and the link to subscribe to the channel if you're not a subscriber. Videos are free, more reach every week. Click that link, subscribe, get a notification, and hopefully we shall see you back here again soon.